Hello, it's JCal Arts, and welcome to my Let's Draw series where I draw a picture, you watch me draw, and I explain the thought processes behind the drawing. Hello, everybody. So I'll be drawing Katara from Avatar the Last Airbender and Korra from the Legend of Korra series because what inspired me for today's drawing is the fact that Netflix released yet another live-action Avatar show, and based on the reaction I've seen from certain creators, it didn't live up to the promises of the cartoon. And I'll be giving my personal opinions about that, but I also wanted to draw basically the waterbending ladies because I want to improve on a past drawing I did. And I'll just show it on screen, and many non-artists might not see too many issues with it, but personally, now looking back, and especially my drawing here, I think this past picture of mine is trash, but we'll get into all that in this video today. So in my Speedpaint, you see me start with Katara here, and I also wanted to draw this picture because I wanted to see how I've improved from the last picture I drew of Katara. And I'm glad that I have the ability to resize my sketches and line art because I have come to the conclusion, and this is one conclusion I've come to in my amulet video, is that in my old drawings, I tend to draw my characters in a way to make it look like you took the resize tool and stretched them vertically. And I have basically gotten better with proportioning my characters in general. And I've also have formed my own art style outside of the really anime art style that I was drawing back in the day. And I, in particular, for Katara and Korra, wanted to basically make them look more like Inuit people because I know the water tribe is inspired by North Asian people, like the Inuit people and similar peoples in North Asia. And so that's why I try to give them more, monolith eye shape and a less defined nose. And I'm just going to say it right here and give some personal information. And I'll say that Katara was my first cartoon crush when I saw her in Avatar for the first time as a nerdy Black American kid that didn't know any better. I thought she was a Black character because of her hairstyle, but then my dad had to come in and tell me that, oh no, these are just fictional characters and she's actually inspired by these group of people, the Inuit people. And I was like, oh. But yeah, I guess as a Black kid, especially back then, since representation of Black characters wasn't super common like it is now in cartoons, I was just looking and reaching for anything. So, embarrassing first waifu moment aside, I in general just like the Water Nation the most. Like, the Water Nation is my favorite nation. Waterbending is my favorite form of bending because the martial art that inspired it is Tai Chi. And I in general tend to like Tai Chi out of the Chinese martial arts alongside snake style Kung Fu because I like how Tai Chi practitioners make the motions that you're supposed to make in Tai Chi very fluid, and you just see them go transition from one pose to another smoothly, and it really does imitate like the smooth flowing motions of water. So original creators who made that decision, good job. The waterbenders wear blue, and that's my favorite color. And I have thanks to the waterbenders to alerting me to North Asian cultures and Inuit cultures, especially if you watch my fairy tale video with one of my fairy tale OCs. I just also want to mention that I wish that people would stop remaking Avatar the Last Airbender. And in general, I just don't like this trend of constantly remaking stuff, especially if you make an animated show a live action show, because in animation, you get to be able to do things in animation that you can't do in live action, especially Avatar. You think you can choreograph the fights in Avatar with real life actors? Like, I just really hate this direction of remaking shows constantly. But at the same time, Ryan Reynolds is making a Biker Mice from Mars reboot, and I am stoked for it. So maybe I'm not the one to make that call. Intermission time, so I want to let you guys know that I have an Instagram called JK Arts, the same name as my channel name, and I encourage you to follow me over there because I post more frequently over there, and I have all sorts of random content outside of YouTube videos that you can enjoy. But back to the video. So now that I'm drawing Korra, I'm just going to let it be known that I did not watch all of The Legend of Korra. When it first came out, my family members were excited to watch it, but I just never really caught on to the show. I don't think it's a horrific or terrible show. It's just, I felt like I was just tired of the Avatar universe. Like, I love Avatar the Last Airbender, and that's all I needed. So this new continuation with The Legend of Korra was something I felt like I didn't really need to see. But I do like Korra as a character because I watched like a few episodes of season 1, and Korra as a character is really cool, and I really like her. But basically, I put the show down, and then many years later, now looking back on the internet and seeing what people had to say about the show, the universal opinion I feel is that the Legend of Korra was good, but it definitely is not as good as Avatar the Last Airbender. And I feel like any working within the Avatar universe now is going to be kind of cursed, because Avatar the Last Airbender is such an amazing show where if anything is made within its universe, it's going to be compared to it, and unless in some miracle world it hits all the notes that Avatar the Last Airbender did, it will always fall short. And especially the live action reboots. I mean, this is the second one with Netflix, and people just aren't feeling it. So I don't know why these things keep being remade other than cashing in on nostalgia. So I wanted Korra to wear her Water Tribe outfit, or in particular, like the Water Tribe hoodie with the insulated pants and boots, because Katara was wearing the same thing in the picture. But I found it hard to find any pictures of Korra wearing the Water Tribe hoodie on the internet that came from the official cartoon, because I do know she eventually goes back to the Water Tribe and wears the outfit, because it happens in season 2. But I just found it hard to find pictures to reference from, so I had to go by fan art. So if there's any discrepancies, please mind them. I'm just gonna have to take some creative liberties. I also have her taking water out from a sack, because Avatar fans, that Katara effectively gets like a sack that she fills up with water and basically gets the idea to carry her ammo wherever she goes. So I found it really interesting that Korra basically pulls from the same technique, especially when you consider that in The Legend of Korra, Katara is still kicking around and alive. And I think out of the original cast, Katara, Zuko, and Toph are still alive during The Legend of Korra. So it's not like it's entirely possible. And if anything, and Legend of Korra fans, does Korra eventually do that in the show? Because why wouldn't Katara teach her essentially to carry her ammo around? Like, waterbenders need that water, though. Picking colors to color with for Katara and Korra was rather simple for this picture, because they practically shared the same color palette. Light brown skin. Korra's hair is technically darker. Like, if it's not black, then it's so dark brown to where it's like damn near black to the naked eye. And they wear varying shades of blue. They have white and brown in their outfits. So, picking colors to color with was actually quite simple in this drawing. And I think it's quite funny that the waterbender lady in The Legend of Korra is very different than Katara and Avatar the Last Airbender, because despite Katara being like a kick-ass waterbender, I like how she's still kind of in touch with her femininity. Like, she does self-care. And I remember one episode where the gang visit Earth Kingdom village, and she sees a fortune teller to find out like what her family's gonna look like in the future, and her future boyfriend and such. But at the same time, Korra, even though she's brash and tomboyish in comparison, like in the season 1 of the episodes I watched for Legend of Korra, she did have a thing for Mako. But Legend of Korra fans who've seen the show, like, what is Korra's interest in relationships from there on? So thank you for sticking in to today's Let's Draw. And I did want to draw Amarok, which is my fairy tale OC, and go watch the video if you haven't. But I wanted to draw him, but then he uses ice magic, so wrong element. And then I thought of drawing Juvia and have her make an appearance here as a joke for today's picture, but she again uses magic, not bending, even if she magically uses water. And the mighty old Katara has said that bending is a art form, it's not magic. So y'all remember that. Everybody remember that. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.